Hey, good evening, everybody. DayTraderRockStar here with you with a special lesson here. This is a lesson plan that's going to go with the methodology. And this is going to also work a lot with the scripts we've been using, the Super Signal script. So it has a lot to do with the Super Signal script, a lot to talk about downward markets and counter trending. I haven't decided the name of the lesson, but it's based off my safety net setup, where I take stocks off in a downtrend faster than I do in an uptrend, and that's what you're supposed to do. So we have such a great advantage here at Day Trading Radio and trading futures, because we have the Rockbot scripts, and those Rockbot scripts have been tuned perfectly. Now they identify these setups that are just the highest probability zones in the market that are going to move in an aggressive way in the direction of the divergence, or in the direction of the signal. If it's a buy signal, it's going to go up. If it's a sell signal, it's going to go down. And this has been working great. And there is times when any algorithm or any type of bot or anything will underperform or outperform. These things, I've been doing this for many years, and I consider myself to be looking at these patterns, and the way I trade stochastics over 25 years looking at it. That over a certain amount of those years, you'll start to see patterns play out. And these are the things that I've programmed into our bots to identify these patterns, because I know these patterns, when they set up, they give explosive moves. So my job here at Day Trading Radio is to make sure you're in these setups. And I do that a couple different ways. Live on the air, because I do it myself with you. And that's what we do. This is the chart that you're looking at. Each morning we get into the office, 8:30, 9 o'clock. We start the market off at 9:30, and from that point on, I'm calling the markets from 9:30 to 4. We take a lunch break in the middle of the day, but that's usually a non-active part of the day. And we focus on futures, but also cover stocks and options, anything that's on the move. But it's comprehensive, and we deal with the news and everything, and it's pretty intense. It's definitely, you don't have to be a full-time trader to enjoy it, but it definitely is suited for full-time traders, because I am a full-time trader, and I'm on the mic with you trading. So that's at DayTradingRadio.com. That's just telling you where you could find more information if you do like this video. So this video here is is a lesson plan on how to trade the downward channel with the super signal, or the downward moving markets, the downward trending markets, and how to know when to get out of a signal. All right, so that's probably the most important thing, because you could get a signal and you could get a signal to fail, but if you could figure out that that it's going to fail, then you're almost perfect. That's something that most people cannot do. But there is some signs of a pattern going to fail you, or if you get a buy signal because everything lines up, and that buy signal is going to get run over because there's too much directional tide going in one direction, we're able to tell you that. I'm able to show you that and how we're going to do it. So that's the video today, and let's get into it. Today we got in here, and we sent out, right out of the gate here at 9:30, there was a super signal. And I talked about this super signal, which went out as a Zello alert. Now, the Zello alerts are for people who are not in front of the computer, could be in front of the computer all day. These are the best setups that I send out on our phones, an audio alert on the phone on the Zello network. Now, you have to go to Day Trading Radio, look it up there. I have some information on how to set it up and stuff. If you're a member, you automatically get it. But if you're not a member of Day Trading Radio, you can actually get it and test it out. It's pretty reasonable for what you get, because you're getting these setups. You don't want to miss these setups. So go over to Day Trading Radio, scroll down, you'll see what's called live audio futures alerts. And these are the setups that I send out. This was our first one. This was at 9:30 this morning. This is what we call a divergence, but it's a multiple time frame divergence. And you see the angle here is very strong. The angle between the first part of the divergence to the second part is about an 18-degree angle. That's huge. Remember, we want to be able to get something around 8 to 10 that starts to look pretty good. Anything steeper than that, this is a must-take scenario. The other thing is, and lesson, I've mentioned this many times in some of my other lessons, there is multiple what we call super signals I send out on the Zello alert. One would be a divergence. The other one would be a quad rotation divergence. Another one might be a quad rotation coil. Sometimes I might put out a good bull, 2020 bull flag or 2020 bear flag. But one of the strongest ones, yet one of the rarest ones, is a 44 divergence. And if you've been on the site long enough, you heard me talk about the 44, and that's the only reason I keep this band down here. This is a little band. This is the 9.3, 14.3, and 44, and the 60.10. The reason I keep this 44 in here is when it has a divergence, it is the best setup in the market typically. And we had one of those this morning. We had a 9.3, 14.3, and a 44 divergence, which are very rare. All right, when we have them, you'll see explosive moves, and that's actually was the low of the day. And I always say that, and you can probably go back and find these in my old videos. If we find a 44, you'll probably find the low of the day. So that was a great move today, and it moved up, and then it came back down. It didn't take out the lows. Remember, a standard divergence, you always put your low in one tick underneath the trailing stop there, or that candle's low, I should say. Then follow it up. So market here went up and then came down, and we actually put another divergence in here between 10:30 and 11 o'clock, and it was a higher stochastic rotation of 14.3. You could see it on the 9.3 here. It's above the 20 line. You could see it there, but you could also see it on the 44, and I pointed that out again. I said, there's another 44 divergence right here. And from that point on, forget about it. The market was off, and it was gone. And at that point, we were working on flags. And flags are the other setup that I send out. And now a flag, again, being in the market for so long, we have this down to a science. It's not random. It's not nothing. We know exactly how a flag sets up. I know exactly how a flag sets up, what type of strength has to be in the bigger trend. The bigger time frame has to have a certain amount of strength. The more strength and the more, the higher the readings I get on my bands here is going to tell me how strong that market is and how aggressive I want to be in taking these trades. This is absolutely a fantastic way of trading because it's limiting you to taking high probability zones and trades, and you're not over trading, and you should be satisfied. But now again, maybe you don't have the time to sit in front of the computer. You only have between 9 and 11 o'clock or 9 and 12 o'clock, or you have a lunch break and stuff. Do not force your trade just to try to be trading. These are the areas you want. So get the Zello alert. The Zello Traders Audio Alert. Make sure you sign up for that. If you're a member of Day Trading Radio, make sure you download it on your phone. It's a free app. Do a search for DayTraderRockStar. Then look for the channel, Futures Traders Audio Network. Click on to join that. I'll approve you, and then you're in. And then during the day, you won't miss any of these. Even if you're sitting there, you're not in front of your computer. I might say there might be a Super Signal 44. That would give you a reason to run to your computer, turn it on, and take a trade, or pull out your smartphone and take a shot. A lot of people trade trade prop trading on this. These are the type of setups that you want to trade prop and go in with the ES. These are the ones that are going to qualify you. The 44, and again, they're super successful. I mean, they have a high percentage of success. I mean, like I told you in this, I hold this too. I haven't seen a 44 ever fail. So talk about, that as a stat. All right. I have, that's a long time of trading too. But seeing is believing, right? And you got to get the alerts, and you got to be in front of it. And all this is good, it's not good unless you're there and willing to push the button and or in the right headspace. And that's important. The headspace of a trader is very important. Because lots of times if you're not exactly on it and you feel that you're chasing it, then you're going to hold back, and then you holding back just takes a split second, and the stock's even higher. Eventually you capitulate and you buy, and you should be selling. And that's how the market gets you. When I identify a flag like this, You need to be buying when that's hitting that 20 and the price is at the 20. You don't want to be buying on the breakout. You want to be selling on the first or two candle on the breakout, because most likely it's going to come back down. All right, it goes up and down, up and down, and up and down. But the flag is identifying that down, and we have a much better chance when this is embedded to get that follow through. So it's an easy, high probability, 85, 90% success type of thing until it gets extended, and then it'll fail. And how do we know it's going to fail? Well, excuse me. Well, it won't fail until it actually double tops. There's different type of things. We're not going to get into it too much, but you could kind of tell when a flag is going to fail. I like to get 2 or 3 flags and then start looking for a little weakness, because the flags are a continuation pattern. But you start to see the flags 1 and 2 in a good time frame. You know, you got a good one and it goes up to another one. You usually want to take that. When it gets to like 4 and 5, then you could start saying, all right, maybe we're going to start to pull back again. But it's all we could read into it, and we know exactly what we're looking for. That's a thing for another day. But what I want to show you today is when we are taking a trade, and how do we get to these trades? Well, let's take a look. I talked about the RockBot script. Now, the RockBot script runs on your NinjaTrader platform. If you don't have a NinjaTrader platform, you need to get it. I mean, you can download it for free, and if you want to try trading prop trading, you get it for free basically with your prop account, and you get everything I got. And I'll give you the templates. You know, you could use my templates onto your NinjaTrader. You should download it anyway. You should download it anyway, because it doesn't cost anything, and you could use it, and you could paper trade with it. So it's definitely worth downloading. Now, if you do like and have it, and you get the scripts are going to identify these high probability zones, and they're going to get you in too. They're going to get you in. They're going to get you in fast, and then depending on what your parameters are, it could get you out. But we're going to talk about how to get out in a downtrend. So here, the market here is kind of selling off, and you can see we're selling off. We got a little bounce here. This is the 60-10 is pushing down. When that is pushing down, that represents our 5-minute time frame, and we're also moving down. You also could see that the 20-period movers crossed over to 50, and these have a negative direction. I mean, it's pretty obvious. All right. So say we get a super signal here. All right, we get a super signal, but it looks like this is still moving down, and we're just about getting oversold. But the problem is, if the market's going to stay oversold, this will go embedded. This will embed. All right, and when this embeds, then all bets are off. You have to really, you're not going to have this as a signal. So at one point during all these, times that we get rotations and stuff, at one point, the 60-10 is going to come down, and we might not have a quad rotation bounce area. We might just go flat like a fish here, and we continue to sell off. But what will happen, we'll still get the rotation. And now this is on the 1,000 volume chart. So this is for those out there with the script. If you have the 1,000 volume script, you're running the super signal on the 1,000 volume or the 300 tick. I'll show you both of those. And you get a signal, and the stochastics on the 60-10 are facing or heading lower, or under 20. If it's heading lower or under 20, you take off your trade on your first rotation of back above 80. All right? Take your trade off back above 80. Oh, when I say 80, that 9.3 is still measuring out, even though this is in the volume chart. It's still measuring out 9 candles behind and still doing this. And what I've noticed, that this is a great indicator of the market rolling back over. So every time we get up around that 80, we see the market roll over. So you have a downward trending market, you get a super signal, you want to take it, but you see this rotate, you realize where it is. You're not going to, is there a reason to bounce here? I don't know. We have to look at the bigger picture, but right now I know that the past has been down, and we're not in the game of guessing where this is one trade, a fast trade, and there'll be better trades out there, and this is your exit no matter what. He came down again, got oversold, and we started to push back up and started to rotate back down. Now remember, your stop has to be at your break even or at that candle low, so it's not a big deal here. It's a 2-point stop overall. It's probably not big, but you could still get out of this pretty safe. If you notice that this is getting up there. Now, this hasn't hit the 80, and you always got to have to like understand, all right, this is embedded. This is really, really weak down here. This is rotating up. We're holding underneath the 20 and 50. Everything here looks like a bear flag. So if it looks like a bear flag, feels like a bear flag, talks like a bear flag, then it's probably a bear flag. And you need to, say, all right, this is under 20. If this is under 20, you're taking these off on the rotation. And if the rotation fails, you're taking it off. No questions asked. This is your business plan. Those are the only two times you could probably get a bad fill or a sell. But most of the time, you're going to get a rotation. Here we sold off again. We got another signal, and it went up, and we got over to 80. And it went up to the 50 and up to the trend line. And if you took that, and I did take this. I've been taking these all day. So I got into these and I said, you know what? I'm taking it off because we hit the 80 line. Every time I did that, market came right back down. All right. Even here, I mean, this is still kind of embedded. We got another nice signal. It took profits. Kind of got up there and then it chopped around. I mean, this is coming into the latter part of the day now. It did get choppy after the end of the day. This is kind of interesting too, because that was probably the low there. Let's look at the 300 tick now. Let's see what kind of alerts were on the 300 tick. And the other thing is, I'm just, every day come in and I mostly trade the MES 1 to 5 contracts. And I look to get $100 to $300 on the prop account using the 50K account. All right. That's the goal for me, not to lose more than $100, make $200 to $300, and just a slow. And that's pretty easy by having discipline and just taking these setups. You're not putting yourself in danger. It's not going to happen overnight, but you're going to build that account up and you're going to qualify. And then you're going to do the same thing while you qualify. And you're going to control that, control the greed. Here's the 300 tick. I got to get off here in a few minutes because I have to do a tutoring session tonight. But I always go over and look at the charts after the day, and I look at the setups and what I could have done better. And sometimes I might have not called a quad rotation, or I just want to see the different signals. And you can see here was a 3 tick, and you can see what happened here. The 300 tick, it had a signal. These were pointing down. We actually started rotating back up a little, but just getting over to 20. But the rotation here brought us back over 80. Right when we got over 80, this rotated back down. Got up here to 80, rotated back down. Got up here, even though it wasn't a signal to buy, it just got up over 80, rotated back down. I mean, that is almost exact on each one of these. Here we go. Got a little bounce here. Rotation, the trend line is down over 80. It just rolled over. Remember that. That is a key to, that's the final thing that you need to worry about. The setups are easy to spot. Here's a setup right here. There's a low, there's a lower low, here's a higher low, stochastic divergence. Stop goes in at the lows there. It even moved up here and you got up to 80 and you would have taken it off right here and it pulled back down. Not that it was going to be another setup, but for whatever reason, if you did. But even this little divergence, even in the downward trend, you take it off right here. You're not going to get chopped up. This was almost a divergence. This is going back to 11 o'clock. And then here we have 11:30. We had a perfect setup here. And again, you can see the divergence here and a quad rotation on the 300 tick. That was at 11:30, and that took us all the way up here. Now, in this case, at one point, we had to zoom out and see what this looks like. We're off the 200 period moving average. The divergence, because it was what I call a visual divergence, you'll notice some of these that this will give, like back here, you'll notice if I can find it here. And you notice there's a very slight divergence. These are mathematical divergences because of the formula that I put in here to kind of measure the candles versus price and the look back period. So sometimes it'll be very hard to see that divergence. But if I really see, like here, it's just harder to see it, but it is there because the candle's there. It's a flat line. It's kind of a hidden. But lots of times we'll see that divergence like this, where it's very obvious. And if we see an obvious divergence, that's even better. It's like a little dip, then move back up, and you have that space. And then if this starts to roll up, as this gets overbought and this starts to lift back above 20, and it doesn't stay embedded. If this stays embedded, yeah, take it off. But if it starts to roll back it up, which it is, and starts moving up, that's when the bigger moves happen. So this has to be above, the 60-10 has to be above your 20 zone, your 20 line. That was just a beautiful, beautiful. And that's, again, 300 tick chart. It's not like we're going to be looking at the 300 tick, but if you are, this works on every time frame. Look at this. Here's another beautiful one, another beautiful divergence on the 300 tick, but it's giving you the signals, and look at where it's going. So I went over the parameters. If you have this, and you need the parameters, reach out to me, and I'll send you the parameters, meaning what your profit, what your target should be, and what my trailing stop is and stuff. And remember, on the rhythmic, you have to put a trailing stop at 1 tick to start. This is just. And then let's just try, let's see, that's the 300 tick. We did the 1,000 volume. That's on the MES. Now the ES will actually give you different setups because of the volume, or the tick. It's going to have different ticks and different volumes. It's going to give us different candles altogether. So you have different setups altogether. This is another option you can do. You can do multiple charts across your screen, and then see what shows up. Now this is on the ES 1,000 volume. I'm not seeing anything here. Nothing yet. Let's see. So I'm going back. 3. Again, it'll take longer for 2. All right, here. Basically, it was 340, and these both worked out good. But again, here you had the rotation. Always watch that 9-3 rotation on the 100 volume and the 300 tick. Even if you start to trend and you want to just take a shot on the market, don't go against it. Don't buy against the 9-3 being overbought. If you're going to just try to nickel and dime this market, gets oversold, buy. Gets overbought, sell. Don't go the opposite. So many people go the opposite. These are giving you these great setups. Look at this setup. Super signal long, right on the bottom. Low, 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 quad rotation and a divergence and a huge move up. Now, again, this is all programmed in, so if we had a different trailing stop, we probably would have held it. Again, seeing this start to rotate back over 20, you want to hold it also. If this is heading up, this is what you want. You want to continue to hold on to that setup if the 60-10 is heading up. So there's some things here, but that was the main gist of the video. I don't want to make it too long. It's a Friday, but again, this is very important if you're running the super signal. I mean, this is just perfect. These are perfect entries, and I've never seen anything work so good. So we're going to work together as a team. I know it's going to be hard sometimes in downtrending markets when you get these things, and sometimes the market's been up, so these things work great in an up market, especially on the pullback trade. But sometimes we're going to have bearish trends and bearish weeks and stuff. And when that happens, you have to recognize that, and you still get little bounces. But, we have to concentrate on the short side. We have to concentrate on taking profits faster, and we have to concentrate on not over trading. All right? Look at these setups. Jesus. Holy crap. I could go on and on and on and on and on. There's nothing better out there. Day Trading Radio. If you want these scripts and you have the Ninja Trader, there's a couple ways to get them. Get a membership at DayTraderRadio.com. Just head over there. You'll see different membership. And it comes with most of the memberships except the trial. You can't get the super signal with a trial, though. Now you have to head over there. DayTraderRadio.com. It's pretty good. $29.99 for the month. So you get to use the script and test it out for the month. $29.99. But you could get them for life, and you get all the new ones and stuff, and they're, it's $750. It's half price. So if you're interested in that, email me, ironaction@yahoo.com, or head over to daytradingradio.com. If you want to rent them, you could do that. Go to Day Trading Radio. Go to Patreon, or you could go to Day Trading Radio. Just email me. But I have it set up that you can download the scripts on Patreon, and get it monthly. And it's just $50 a month. That's if you're not a member of Day Trading Radio. So you could actually get that if you're not a member of Day Trading Radio. Highly suggest to become a member of Day Trading Radio. We have a great selection of traders in our chat room. We gather there all day. And that's where the real genius is. The genius traders in there. Most of those traders are there every single day. For years they've been there. So talk about a wealth of knowledge inside, and you guys feel free to. And they're friendly, and they have just a lot of knowledge on stocks, options, and futures trading. We have a good core group in there since 2007. So to give you a little time frame there, that's when we started, and that's where a lot of these traders are from. That point, 2007, 2010, all the way up to 2012. But you know that. Day Trading Radio, broadcasting every day in the markets. And I want to let this go. I got a coaching thing to do in 15 minutes. That's another thing I do. If you want to get set up or learn some extra stuff on, about these techniques and stuff, I do a 90-minute one-on-one session for $99. Really, that's super cheap. I only do it a couple days a week. All right. Email me if you want to look into that. I go over everything, setting up your charts, teaching you the methodology, setting up your prop accounts, anything, trading basics. You want to learn, you need to just study up on things. You need to get your discipline down. You need, one-on-one help. I am there. All right. And that's it. So have a good one, everyone. DayTraderRockStar signing off. I'll catch you in the markets on Monday.